Hello and welcome to the Control Zone, the video game podcast that covers everything from Contra to Killzone and everything in between. This is episode 5. I am your co-host, Rob, aka PredaKing79, and with me as always is my co-host.
Good evening. Hi, it's Rikki32 here. RIKKI 32.
Get it out there straight away.
Yeah, how are you, Rob? All right?
I'm good.
Yes.
It's been a few weeks since we recorded, but we are back. So fear not, listeners, all 2 or 3 of you.
Yes.
We have returned.
Hi, Mum. Yeah, no. Sorry about the delay, guys. Just a few personal reasons. We'll explain why as we continue. For those who don't know, so
Yes.
in a short while. So okay, Rob. How about you start? Do you want to tell us about what you've been up to?
Yeah.
The last year? No, the last month. Sorry.
Yes, it's been about
Yeah.
about 4 weeks. Been quite busy. It was my birthday,
Yes.
which I think we talked about briefly before during the last podcast.
That's correct.
I got a couple of presents a little bit early, which was the Saints game against Arsenal, which was a good game, 2-2.
2-2, yeah, that was a cracking old game, wasn't it? And I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good game. Getting a few results together, a bit hit and miss. We haven't lost for about 8 games now, so that's quite cool.
No, that's right. I saw the Hull game the other day.
Yeah.
And I think my mate Laurie went to it. He lives up in Hull. He's a Saints fan, and it was a pretty boring game, but Saints always had that little edge, and obviously nicked the goal.
Yeah, no, we've had a few
Yeah.
results like Stoke at home where we should have really beaten them and we got a draw, but
That's
it's
right.
averaging out okay, and we're only I think it's 2 points behind Man United now. So
Yes.
if we finish above them, I will be very happy.
It's really possible, actually. They're having an awful season,
They
aren't
are.
they? But it was kind of predicted, so
Yeah.
it's not a shock this year.
Not at all.
But it's actually got me thinking. I know we're not going to talk. We get the football out of the way to start with, but I kind of got me thinking. The Saints English trio.
Yes. Well, quartet now because Luke Shaw is.
Well, it was he. All right, he's okay. Well, I would think we'd stand slightly more of a chance in the World Cup if we played the Saints 3 than bloody Rooney and whoever else fancies
Welbeck.
got. They're having a terrible season. I know Sturridge is all right, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not part of a partnership like the 3 from Southampton are. So you think they're playing so well together. They know each other. They read each other's play so well. Imagine those 3 together in the.
It'd be great. I can't see it happening, but
Well, if I was England manager, I'd stick them in and see how they play for England together.
yeah. Well, there's a friendly coming up soon, isn't there?
Yeah,
So.
it's really worth a try because it's not all about the world class players; it's about team play, isn't it? So you think back in World Cup history, like who were the greatest players in World Cup? Like, who were solely won the World Cup? And I'm thinking Maradona.
Yeah.
20 odd years ago. Actually,
30 years ago.
Oh,
86, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think was it Pelé back in back in the black and white era.
Yeah.
So there's only really a couple of players that have really been renowned for winning it on their own. So I'd stick them in. Anyway, that's just my sixpence. So.
No, we shall see. I'm sure we'll talk more about football as the season comes to a close and England start to prepare. But so that was cool. That was working with the old man, and it was a good game. And then a couple of days later, went up to London with the kids. Went to the old Natural History Museum.
Good.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
I haven't been there for years. Actually, it's not changed as I said. They haven't invented any dinosaurs or anything.
No. Yeah, history hasn't really moved on. It just doesn't move on, is it? It's just so stuck in the past. Yeah.
But no, that was cool. It was the first time the kids have been to London, so first time.
Actually, I saw some photos. They looked like they were loving it on the tube.
Yeah, no, they did. Although we did have a complete and utter job's worth bell end from South West Trains at the terminal at Waterloo on the way back, which is interesting. Because basically what happened is when I was with my parents, so there was 5 of us basically, mum, dad, the kids and me, and Dad had this sort of special deal where you get a return ticket up to London for a tenner at the weekends. I think it was just during January and February. So he bought that from Southampton and for a tenner for the three of us. The kids were free, and off we went. Great. When we got to Waterloo to get off to get to the tube, our tickets wouldn't go through the barrier for some reason. So we just waved at some guy who was just like, "Yeah, come through."
Yeah.
So on the way back, it's like probably about 5:30, something like that, and
rush hour. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it wasn't too bad because it was Saturday, so
okay, yeah,
not too bad. But there's a lot of people there, and we got the kids some food and went up to the barrier. Again, the tickets wouldn't go through, so it's like, oh, okay, we're going to see the guard again. Different guard to before. Show the tickets. He's like, no, that's for tomorrow's date. You can't go through. Like, right, but we bought it earlier today. And we've travelled to London and we want to go home. No, that says tomorrow's date. You can't go through. So,
fucking hell.
It's like, right, okay. If you'd have bought it from a ticket machine and you pressed the wrong button or something, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, this was from over the counter to a to a ticket office clerk. And we're like, no, just let us through. I mean, it's obviously someone's made an error. Well, you should have checked your tickets when you bought them. No, your staff should have done their job properly and given us the correct
exactly.
ticket. So, no, or you'll have to go to the ticket office over there and
really
see if they can sort it. Right, so off we go to Waterloo ticket office. Now, you know, some ticket offices are quite quiet. London Waterloo, not so much.
No. Yeah, there's probably about a half-hour wait, isn't there? Usually.
Yeah, there's a big queue, and basically we missed the train. And then we had another guy on the desk who wasn't quite as much of a job's worth, but he was still pretty bad because he wanted all the tickets that we had, like the tickets going in and ones coming out. Well, Dad had obviously given the clerk the ticket and not, you know, got it back. So we had to take it down. He was like, oh, I don't know. Dad luckily had a receipt.
Right.
And eventually they did it and gave us like a handwritten ticket and we went through. And I was just so pissed off with the original guy. I was like, you dickhead, you total dickhead. And Joseph turns to me. He's like 3. He goes, Daddy, why are you calling him a dickhead? I was like, because he is. Luckily, when we went back through the barrier, it was a different guard. Because if it was the same one, then it would have been interesting.
Yeah. All right. So you got away with it.
We ended up all okay in the end. But we just, you know, meant us getting home like 40 minutes later than we should have done, and it was just totally unnecessary. All we had to do is just open the gate and let us through.
It's crazy, isn't it? They got no compassion. I suppose you had two little kids getting tired, bit grumbly. Yeah, they don't care, do they? Bastards.
No, the kids were actually good as gold because they were.
Right.
You know, their dinner and they're munching away, but you know.
You should have done that. You should have given one a whack just before you went up to the gates. He was crying his eyes out, and then they would have let you through straight away.
We'll just stand here until you let us through.
Yeah, he's peed his pants as well.
But other than that, no, it was really good. It was a really good weekend.
Cool. Good.
And it was Joseph's birthday the following week.
Yes, that's right.
And we had a little party and.
Party on the island.
It was, yeah. It was cool. Lots of kids going crazy.
Yeah, they're interesting parties, aren't they? Kids' when they're young.
Yeah.
Because we had one for Millie just after, I think it was just after the New Year. So her birthday's New Year's Eve. So you know, it's very difficult to arrange her little kiddies party then. So we usually have it a week later. We hired out a hall. And flipping out the noise, it's like a swarm of bees, just kind of constantly in your ear, like for hours on end. And we had to do some party games with music.
Yeah.
And at one point, I'd run out of ideas, so the little kids were telling me, "Why don't we play this one?" And I said, "Okay, how'd you play it?" And they were like telling me how it was played. And I was like, "Okay, we'll do that." And you know, it just got a bit kind of rap in the end, but you know, overall it was all right.
Jo had a great idea. She hired out a hall, and had got. It sounds a bit bizarre when you say it, but she's got loads and loads of cardboard boxes, all shapes and sizes. Like some literally about 4 foot by 6 foot, all sorts of sizes. And they basically made them into like a huge tunnel. They made it into like a princess castle. They had the tubes from like, the inner tubes from like wrapping paper and stuff, loads of those. And turned them into lightsabers.
Okay.
And a car and a robot and all sorts. And they're just running around like mad things. And we only actually did one party game because they were so excited. There's like 20 odd kids running around. And it was great. Didn't have to hire some bell-end clown or anything like that,
Oh, wow. So, I suppose, did you throw everything away afterwards, I suppose, did you? Or...
Yeah, all the boxes just got chucked,
Yeah,
so
see. It's
just the cost of the haul and the food, so I think it
Excellent.
wasn't too bad.
Cool. And,
so,
okay, and you've been sort of working and stuff up to there, and just...
normal,
yeah.
I've picked up a few bits and pieces. So
okay.
I'll talk about,
what have you picked up? What your little toys?
Some, yes. Well, on the game front, I picked up a couple of games which I'll talk about when we talk about games later.
Okay, yeah.
But on the nerd front, Steve, our silent partner,
Mysterious Steve.
Mysterious Steve, who one day
who also admitted to me that he doesn't listen to this. So, Steve, you're a wanker. Because he won't listen to it. He says he only listens to the beginning, middle, and end where you edit it, and I'm like, right, okay. I'm only joking, mate. I'm only joking.
No, so he put a message on Facebook saying he's having to clear out of his big cupboard at his house.
I saw that.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And first come, first served if anyone wants something. And some of it, one of it was a game and related game stuff, which I'll talk about in a bit. But the other thing was he had a load of old Star Wars figures. And I thought, those Steve, if they're going, old vintage Star Wars figures from sort of the late 70s, early 80s. Because I do like my old toys and stuff. And I thought, go around and there'll be, a few bits and bobs, and probably won't be, much to it, but it's worth having a look. And I go around, and he gives me a complete Millennium Falcon.
Kidding, really?
Yeah, awesome thing. And I'm like, dude, that's actually worth quite a lot of money. You sure you want to give it to me? He's like, yeah, have it. So it wasn't quite, but it's got 2 bits missing, which I've since bought on eBay anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
To complete it, giving it a good old clean because it was all dusty and everything. Got some new stickers to it, but it's awesome. It's a toy that I had as a kid.
Yeah. Wow. Why is he giving that away? That's quite a expensive.
Well, he had loads of stuff, like loads.
Just making room, yeah.
Yeah, he's just making room. He had loads of Star Wars stuff, and he basically put a lot of it on eBay. And the stuff that didn't sell, he kept a couple of bits for himself. He kept like the old AT-AT and Boba Fett's spaceship Slave One. But the other bits that didn't sell was what he basically gave to me. So it was about, I don't know, a dozen figures, the Falcon and a few little ships.
Sweet, yeah.
But I was just like, you sure? He's like, yeah, it's fine. So I'm like, awesome. Now it's sitting pride of place on the shelf in the front room. So. And the kids love it as well. So.
Yeah, I bet. It's like, don't touch it though. I don't suppose you play it as a toy, do you?
Well, no, it's very fragile. It's over 30 years old. So there's so many bits to it. It's crazy.
yeah, I bet.
So I remember as a kid, I lost half the bits pretty much straight away.
Gosh, so careless.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
And elsewhere, I picked up another of the old masterpiece Transformers as well.
Okay. Yeah. You gonna do a video?
I did. The one I mentioned last week, Acid Storm. I did actually do a YouTube review of it a couple of days ago.
Right.
So
check that out. Yeah.
Up on my channel, which is Predaking79 on YouTube.
Good one. Nice one.
Yeah. Yes. Segue there. So I picked up another one. It's called Smokescreen, which is pretty awesome as well. So I probably will do a review of him at some point too. He's like an old sort of rally car. It's a Nissan or something from the I can't remember, from the late 70s.
Right.
But very, very cool. But anyway, I'll do a review of that at some point. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So
Good. Yeah. Okay. Right. So what have I been up to then? So the reason for the delay, as Rob knows, but I'll just tell everybody, was that my dad died about 2 weeks ago, and obviously that turns your whole life a little bit around a corner, doesn't it? And and I kind of went into my shell a little bit for a few days, well, about a week, and just to get over it and cope, because we were due to record on the 30th, weren't we? And that
We
was
were, yeah.
that was the day. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of sent you a pre-message say, look, I might not be able to record tomorrow, because at that point he was still alive, so that I knew he was in trouble.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I've got to talk about today is kind of left over from then, because I still want to talk to you about some of the games I had lined up. So, but anyway, yeah. So of course, my last 2 weeks have really been dealing with like funeral arrangements, which is it's actually not as hard as you think, because everybody does everything for you.
Oh, right, okay.
But
solicitors do and stuff.
Well, no, you go and see a funeral director with a death certificate, and they kind of just take on that certificate and a little green slip of paper, and off they go, and they do everything for you. They just this big tick list. It's like a shopping list.
Yeah.
The coffin cost over half the cost of the funeral itself.
Yes.
Horrendous amount. Got a bit of a theory there. I wonder, because it's a cremation. I wonder if they just recycle the coffin. Because you think about it, the coffin goes, you don't actually see it.
You don't see it, no.
Right? And imagine if you were a scrupulous funeral director and you just kind of going, yeah, we got this one, it's on, well, I'll do it for you cheap because we're using it 8 times tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I can look at it in jest, but I'm sure it's not that way. But I'm always a little bit skeptical. You never see a 4-1, do you? So and so on the day, which funeral's next week, we're I had the chance to ride in the hearse with my dad, but I'm not going to because it's about an hour from the house to the crematorium.
Yeah.
So because those cars, they drive really slowly, don't they?
They do, yeah.
And I think if you just go around the corner, you'll probably get by with it. But an hour would just do my head in. So we're gonna meet it there.
Yeah.
So so that was all the arrangements. That's done and sorted. The house clearing has started. Which has been pretty sad, and I haven't found any porn yet, but I will keep searching. Get all my 70s stuff back, maybe. So it's a pretty sad state of affairs when you have to kind of like throw out clothes, and stuff like that, and take it all to banks. Was it clothing banks and bits and bobs? Yeah. So today solicitors again charging £210 an hour.
Really?
Yeah. So but we need them. I think it's all a con. They make the paperwork and process so difficult.
Yeah, I think
that the average man just can't deal with it. I will be
using them myself for a different thing later in the year, but I'm sure I will be.
Yeah. I mean, because you're selling your house, aren't you?
Well, yeah, we are. It's I just had the kitchen floor done, which is the last thing I wanted to do before I sold it.
Yeah.
So it'll be going on the market in the next couple of weeks.
Right.
So I don't know how quickly it'll sell, but one of Steve's mates apparently sold his flat, which is a similar sort of size and stuff as mine, in one day.
Well, you say that if you get it on the market really soon, because the house that we've got to get sold.
Yeah.
It went on the market on Monday.
Yeah.
And it's sold today.
Really?
Yeah. And we've had there's no chain either end.
Yeah.
So they're a buyer from Finland coming in looking for a home in the UK.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And they used to live around the area, and they know what they wanted, and they say they have a £250,000 deposit.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're serious. So
yeah.
It's
stuff is moving fast, isn't it?
Really too fast.
Yeah.
We need to get him in the urn first, I think, before we start talking about money. But there we go. So that's kind of what I probably sound a bit chirpier than I did when I spoke to you the other week, and you got to cope and get over it. But I don't want to bring anyone down. So
No.
of course, to help me through this difficult time in my life, what does the average gamer do? He goes out and buys himself a new console. So I purchased a PS Vita.
Oh,
One of the slim ones. Now it's brand new out last. They were only released in the UK last Friday. Mine turned up about 6 p.m. The bastard, you know, they're being released on the Friday, and you're kind of like, it's Friday. If I popped down to game, I could have had it at 9 o'clock, but no, I have to wait till 6 p.m. Mine. So anyway, but it turned up. It's a fantastic. I mean, I had a PSP for years now, probably about 8 or 9 years.
Yes.
And I showed you it a few weeks ago. It's a good little bit of kit. It's very robust. So the Slim comes in. It's really light. It's a gorgeous bit of kit to handle. It's got touch screens on the front and the back, which they had anyway. But this one's got a bit of a better battery life, and it's got a different screen. I think the original Vita had an OLED screen, and this one's just got an LCD. So I think the general consensus is that the Slim is not as best, it's not the best screen out of the two models. So the old Vita is slightly better than the new one in terms of the screen, but in terms of holding it and its lightness, it's much nicer than the new one. So there's pros and cons for getting the new one or keeping with the old one if you've already got one. So now I primarily bought this because I'd read, and I hadn't read any further, that it had remote play compatibility with the PlayStation 3.
Awesome.
So, because I've got about 80 games on my PS3 hard drive because of PlayStation Plus over the years, I've got and there's some new games just come on, including BioShock Infinite, which is just I've got that on my PS3 now. So to play that on your Vita when you're in bed or you can't get on the big telly. Do you know what I mean? It's a really good added extra for.
How much are they?
What, the Vitas?
Yeah.
They come in about 100 I think about 150. I would imagine gets you. Mine was a bit more because it came with FIFA 14 and a 16 gig memory card. And about 9 games to download. I think including golf and. Gran Turismo and things like that. So but I'm not really interested in those because I had some other stuff to download anyway. But they're pretty good. But that's where the first problem comes in because the PS3 remote play is really limited. It's only limited to about 4 PS3 games.
What?
And PS1 games. So any games that you bought on the PS1 on it, they work.
Right.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
And the PS3 games that do work are crap. It's stuff that it's not BioShock, it's not Far Cry 3, which I have, it's not Metro Last. It's none of the big games. It's not Grand Theft Auto. Nothing. So I was really, really disappointed that it didn't work. And the only way to get it to work is to hack the PS3.
Right.
Because apparently if you take it back a few firmwares, they had a loophole in one of the earlier firmwares that allowed you to use the PS3 as a remote device, like a mobile device, and it worked. But to do that, you then lose all of your PlayStation Network ability, which is about 90% of the games I've got on the hard drive. So it's just not really worth it. So so I was a little bit disappointed, really. There are people who have done it and managed to, but they're probably people who've illegally downloaded the game. In order to just put them on the hard drive. So, really disappointed there. So, of course, I read a bit more, and it is fully compatible with the PlayStation 4. So, any games on the PS4 will work in remote play. So, it's going to be a really useful bit of kit in a couple of months when I hopefully buy my PS4.
Sweet.
Which is on the cards. So, I'll probably
should you
buy back
be interested in? Yeah, sweet. Should you be interested in selling your PSP?
Yes, we did talk, didn't we? Yeah, no, I just need to find a way of getting the ability to play some of the stuff that is on that current PS3 on the new PS Vita. As soon as I can do that, which may not take me very long, then it's certainly on the cards to be flogged. Now I have the original boxes for that old one and the original chargers. So yeah, it's worth.
Oh dear, excuse me.
It's worth. Do you know what? I'm drinking gassy beer here, and I've been holding back.
Yeah.
Moving the mic away, the
You've
odd
got
mute.
You've got a mute button, I haven't. So
Yeah,
I
true.
just thought sod it.
Yeah, well, I haven't used it yet. Maybe I won't bother. So anyway, yeah. So that's the PS Vita. It's going to be a bit of kit that's very useful. I've got some really nice games for it. I mean, obviously FIFA 14 plays about as good as FIFA 13 on the Xbox 360. You know, the one we played with each other the other week.
Yes, I shall.
It's up to that standard. Yeah, and there's a really good Uncharted game on there, and I've been playing quite a lot of Hotline Miami on it, and Splunky and stuff like that. So I might talk about those when we actually. I probably won't bother talking about them because where it's a handheld, you dip in and out of it. You don't sit there for hours like you do on a console. It's certainly something that's going to be useful when I travel.
Okay.
So what have I been doing in the last 4 weeks? Well, tonight we actually booked tickets for tomorrow night to go and see the Lego Movie with the kids.
I've seen it.
You've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Now, when does it get released? Is it?
It's officially released tomorrow
On the Valentine's Day. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You must have had a previewing.
We went to a preview showing.
Yeah.
Which was really bizarre because it was actually normal price. And it was showing about 8 showings during the day.
Okay.
So it wasn't like one of these random ones where it's just like one showing, and it's totally rammed. And went in there, and the cinema was probably only about a third full, maybe.
Really?
Which is kind of weird because I guess people just didn't think it was out because technically it wasn't.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I took the kids to it and absolutely loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
It's really, really good. It's probably the best kids movie I've seen since Despicable Me 2.
Okay, good.
Although it's Toy Story 3,
Toy Story 3. Okay, yeah. Okay, good. No, it's cost me £30 for our tickets tomorrow night, and I don't take the family en masse to the cinema very often unless it's a Saturday morning quid a kid movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm a bit shocked at the price. So, but I'm looking forward to the film for some bizarre reason.
No, it's cool. It's got loads of cameos from various little Lego figures. I mean, I've always liked Lego and stuff. But like Lego Batman's in it.
Oh, cool, good. Yeah. No, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's something that I've been doing is booking the ticket for that, which is tomorrow night. But good. Okay, glad it comes recommended.
Yeah, definitely. I'd happily see it again. I'll probably go to see it with Sarah at some point.
Oh, really? Excellent. Yeah, the cinema's going to be pretty packed. I think it was pretty about 2/3 full when we were booking.
Yeah.
So I expect it'll get fuller as tomorrow night goes on. 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Friday night, lovely. Okay. So have you heard of games called the Civilization series of games?
Yes.
Sid Meier? Yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
Now, at the moment, Humble Bundle, which I talk about often, are doing a really good bundle at the moment. You can get it's called the Sid Meier Humble Bundle, and for what did I pay? £3.25. You ready for this? Okay. For Steam and the PC, I picked up Civilization 3 Game of the Year, Civilization 4 Game of the Year, Civilization 5, which is the brand new one with all the DLC, Sid Meier's Pirates, Sid Meier's Railroads, and Ace Patrol. Now, those games would if you buy them all individually, you're looking at over £100, right? So £3.25. Okay, which is incredible to boost the Steam collection there with some really good strategy games. Some probably the leading strategy game in its genre really there. And the bundle's on for another week. So if this goes up on the tunes and there's anybody listening to it, I recommend going and grab that straight away. Some of these things, Rob, that you might want to get yourself a Humble Bundle login and things that you can grab for when you get your PC or in the future. Because the great thing about Steam and PC gaming is that you'll upgrade your equipment, and
games will still be there.
Your games won't die like they do on the 360 and the PS3. They're going to be there forever. Whatever platform, whatever you got, they'll always be around. So you never know one day. So anyway, I really recommend grabbing those if you haven't seen them. I mean, I personally haven't had a chance to play them yet because of obviously what's been going on, but you can't let those go. They're certainly worth grabbing. And finally, about 2 weeks ago, just before my father's death, I think the Sunday before, I made a guest appearance on another podcast.
You did, yes.
Indeed, called the Cranky Gamers UK. Now, for me, I've been listening to that podcast for 8 years, 9 years, maybe 7 years. I don't know, many years. And the guy Toz, who's been the mainstay over all those times. He's had many people come and go, but he's been the main, the main guy there. Been chatting with him a few times over the years, and somebody left at Christmas. Now opening up a third chair.
Yeah,
so to speak. So there's 3 of them. There was 2 of them, but now they wanted a third person. So I jumped in and I said, I could help. I fancy giving it a go because it is more modern gaming they talk about. It's not they don't dip into the retro side of things like we do, and and of course they don't have anyone with. They tend to be more console gaming, so they don't have a lot of handheld and PC. Steam stuff, so I'm kind of filling a little bit of a void there, hopefully. So I'm going to try and juggle myself between this one and that one. So it wasn't a case that I'm doing that one totally and leaving this one aside. I wasn't doing any podcasting, obviously, over the last 2 weeks, for obvious reasons. So it was quite a privilege to jump on there, and I managed to drop in the Control Zone podcast quite a few times throughout the show, and collecting a lot of followers on Twitter.
Yes.
And let me just have a look on YouTube. How many? We've still got only 4 bloody subscribers. So that's your mum, my mum.
Me is one.
Yeah, me and you, innit? so people are having a dip in, but
unfortunately, I can't check the stats anymore on Podomatic to see how many listens we're getting because our pro trial has run out.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
But the Twitter is going well, and we've got about 60 odd followers, which is double what we had last time we recorded. So.
Really? Oh, see, yeah. So I think a lot of them are hopefully coming over from that. So I'm doing another one Sunday, so I should be able to name drop it all in again. So,
cool.
And I had some good feedback. So
yeah, no, I listened. It was really good.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah,
excellent. Yeah. So excellent. Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. So a lot going on, more than I wanted, but been doing quite a lot really. Just trying to get over.
Yeah, these things take time, but games are always a good distraction for you.
They are, yes, yeah, But I don't know if intensive care were minded my Angry Bird session, but we'll see when the lawsuit comes in. So, okay, so let's move on.
Let's talk about what games we've been playing then.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I will. I don't know how many you've been playing. First game, it's been mentioned every podcast, I think, since we started, GTA 5.
Right.
I have finally finished it.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well done.
Yeah, I finished it. It's great. The story ends nicely.
Good.
You have, I don't know how much you know about sort of the ending of it, but you have sort of 3 options at the end, because you control, you've got your 3 characters, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I suppose it's kind of a spoiler, but not really too much. Basically, Michael, the who's the gangster guy? It's not Michael, is it?
Or the middle-aged guy, or the
Michael's the
young rapper dude, whatever he is.
Yeah, the young rapper guy. What's his name?
Oh,
Oh, that's just terrible. Trevor, Michael, and
the other one.
Yeah.
I know who you mean, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
The one you start with, yeah.
The young guy, the black guy, basically, he gets the ultimatum to either kill Michael, kill Trevor, or basically the three of them team up and take on this sort of the main guy, the main bad guy. Well, they're all bad guys, aren't they? But their main sort of enemy. So obviously, I chose the option to take on the enemy, it's a pretty epic finale. Really, I basically tooled everybody up with miniguns and body armor and rocket launchers, and it's just a big bloody massacre. But when the game ends, obviously you can still carry on and do the side missions that you haven't got around to doing and stuff. But I'm never sort of 100% completist on games, and I'm sure I'll go back to it at some point in the future. But I certainly haven't. I haven't since I completed it, and that was about 2 weeks ago.
Right. Okay. So, do you think it's gone off the ball a little bit?
Yeah, and especially the online.
Right.
I played with my mate Paul online. He was bizarrely talking through his kinetic mic. So
sorry, his what? What Kinect?
Kinect, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
He's supposed to talk through the mic through that, so he's actually talking at the telly. So there's like some really bad echo on there. But lag-wise, it was fine. But it's just unless you want to play hours and hours and hours and get loads of money, I don't see the point of it, because you just end up doing the same stuff that we were doing. Stealing a car, robbing shops, getting a helicopter, getting killed by people that play the game too much, and then doing a few of the missions. So I don't know. It's rapidly losing its sort of appeal, and I'd rather play Gears, to be honest, than GTA Online.
Yeah. I think this is kind of like the time they need to do. I mean, they haven't announced anything, but they kind of really need to release some expansion to it. I think. I know they're online. I would imagine they're online still going for those who really like it. So
it's still very popular. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably their way now, isn't it? Their sort of MMO, isn't it? Really, where they're.
It almost is, but there's no story to it. You're just literally doing the same. There's not even, I can tell, that much variety in the actual missions. There should be a whole sort of separate story and separate set of missions that you do online with your mates. I think that would be much better.
Yeah.
Instead of just randomly going around and But hey, it's still a good game, and I think I'm about I've done about 72%. I think it is of the main game.
Yeah,
and that's finishing the main story,
right,
and doing obviously some of the side missions. So there's stuff to go back to, but I haven't played it in 2 weeks. I've been playing a few other bits and pieces, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I basically just blitzed it and thought, no, I'll get rid of get it done. So there we go.
I haven't been on GTA for weeks really. Probably about 3 weeks, isn't it, since we last had a little hook up. But I kind of got lost a bit of the enthusiasm for it, to be honest.
I think if we went on again at some point, we probably would still enjoy it. But I just don't find it particularly fun going online as a single player.
Yeah,
as we've kept saying, you need to go on with a friend or something, because it's just
true. Yeah, and of course, there's the games are going to start coming out again now, aren't they? So they're starting to be released. With a couple of games this Friday, and if you've got no point to it, there isn't any. If you've experienced everything you need to experience, and then it just becomes like a sport. You're just repeating the same thing over and over again just to get more and more money. For what point?
Exactly.
Nobody cares now at the end of the day. So we must.
It's going to be full of sort of, hardcore gamers that want to sort of, the people that want to be the maximum level on World of Warcraft and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
Not discriminating against World of Warcraft games.
Never do.
No. But anyway, so I'll certainly give it another go, and not planning to get rid of it, but
Well, I suppose if you were thinking, it probably got still quite a high, decent value. So,
Yeah.
you're giving it as much as you could. But of course, I think I'm seeing it for about £20 now in a few places. So or about £17. So it's come down quite a lot.
It has come down quickly, yeah.
Yeah.
After Christmas and everything.
Yeah, and of
It's
course
got
it's
it.
a 360 and PS3 only game. So as
Mm.
the games start to be released for the next gen or the current gen,
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it. As they start to get more games, people will be less and less. So yeah, fair enough. Good. Okay.
So, a couple other games. Been playing. Been a bit more time to Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
Steve basically gave me the heads up of to how you actually need to play that game because it's
Right.
so hard. But what you do is when you die and you game over, when you load it up again, it saves the money and experience that you've accumulated.
Okay.
So you can just go and replay the first level and just basically keep doing that and leveling up and getting stronger and stronger and getting more money and buying stuff so you can actually then do the rest of the game. Because I was just getting frustrated at dying hideously as soon as I finished the first level.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a bit more of that. I got FIFA 14 for my birthday from my brother.
Oh, right. Okay. On the 360. Right. Okay. Just after you bought FIFA.
Just after I got FIFA 13.
So that's going to go in the bin now.
Well,
yeah.
I played the two.
Go on, tell me
that much. There isn't that much of a difference between.
I got FIFA 14 as well, but I got the PC version.
Yeah.
So tell me what you're. Yeah, there isn't a lot of difference, but it's subtle, isn't it? I don't know if you feel the same as me. I'll tell you what you should do. There's a website. I'll send you the link when I find it later. To something we should have done on 13 as well, but I've only just decided to do it on 14. It's changed the gameplay immensely for me. So if you do it into your 14 version, you'll feel like it's a different game. And when you go to the settings, and the last two on the right trigger are the your settings for gameplay, and then the next one's the console settings for how the gameplay runs. And there's got these sliders and everything's set at 50. Yeah. There's a couple of lots of forums with sort of how to change the sliders to make the gameplay more realistic.
Right.
And I'll send you the link, and if you put them in and then try and play the game, it is a completely different game. I imagine over the years that this has always been there, and I've just ignored it. I don't know about you.
I never even heard of it. No.
Play with the default settings, you get this like speedy arcade game, don't you? Put the settings that I'll send you, and it completely changes gameplay. It's an immense game. It's so much better. So that might give you a little bit. If stick them into 14, and then you will feel that you've got a different game on your hands. Trust me.
Yeah. No, I'll give it a go. But sort of, I stuck through 14 and played a couple of games, and I just thought it's perfectly fine, but it's not that different. And then I went back to FIFA 13 and carried on my season.
Oh, how did you? Yeah, did you start a season with Saints?
I started a season with Saints. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
And it's early, early days, but I'm enjoying it. It's cool. But I'd already invested, half a dozen games into that. I thought I want to carry on with that.
Half a dozen. 3 of those are friendlies, aren't they? I did the same actually. I've started a season with Saints on FIFA 14 actually, and I'll tell you what, I've bought 3 players that have completely changed the makeup of the team. I bought Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
From Liverpool.
Yeah.
I bought that Zaha from Man United.
Yeah.
Because they popped up on the old transfer market, so I grabbed them. And also I bought Barr from Chelsea.
Okay, yeah.
The centre forward.
Yeah.
So I'm interlinking those 3 players with like Lambert and Rodriguez in Lallana, and I tell you what, we've got a cracking forward line.
Yeah.
You'll love this little story. Okay, right. So you know how I like to change the background settings of my PC games because there's lots of tools out on freeware tools where you can load up the PC files of FIFA 14, and you can change. I've actually changed how much money Southampton get given in the transfer market.
Right.
So I think they started about 8 million. I had 100 million. So you're able to do things like that. And I changed the expectations of the board so they could be a bit more lenient. And I made a mistake because if you fiddle around with some elements of the background, the system kind of breaks.
Right.
And I haven't gone back to it, so I was about same as you, about 6-7 games in, and I think when you hit the end of the transfer window, you get sacked. So I'd won every game. In fact, we just like won 2-1 away at Man United, I think it was.
Right.
The board said we're really upset with your performance, so we no longer require you. So they sacked me, and I can't fix it. I don't know how to. Well, obviously I know what to do, but I'm really gutted because I really started building a good squad there. So it's my own fault for fiddling around with some of the bits I probably shouldn't have. We own the game, so I'm not doing anything. I'm not. There's nothing illegal going on. It's just the PC files you can get access to. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just a file structure.
Yeah.
You can change settings and put them into tools where you can actually see what's going on. But hey ho, that was my fun. But I really recommend it. Change the slider settings on your gameplay before you go into any modes, and incredible change. It really does change. More realistic.
Cool.
Okay.
Otherwise, what else have I played? Oh, yeah. I said Steve gave me some gaming bits and bobs, and he gave me a copy of Rock Band 2 and a couple of Rock Band guitars.
Nice.
Which I hadn't played before. I played, I think it was Guitar Hero 3 was the last guitar-related game that I had.
Yeah.
I did have Rock Band ages and ages ago when it first came out. But never sort of played it since. And it was cool to play that game. I've forgotten how ridiculously terrible I am at those games. Despite the fact that I can play bass guitar in reality, it's actually quite difficult playing it on Rock Band.
Yeah.
Which is quite amusing. But no, it's cool.
Have you ever seen that South Park episode where they?
I haven't. No.
They play Rock Band and they go. You should. It's very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
Just played a little bit of that. But that's pretty much been it, to be honest. Despite the fact we haven't been recording for a little while, I haven't really played a lot because I've been busy with, birthdays and bits and bobs and stuff. So that's pretty much me.
Yeah, well, I sent you a message actually last night, didn't I? I think there's something called World of Tanks has just been released on the Xbox. I think it's just a general freebie for gold members.
That's right. Yeah.
So maybe something for next week. I'll grab that, and if you grab it, maybe we can share our thoughts because it's kind of new. It's kind of free.
Yeah.
I think they're wanting to make it an MMO, aren't they?
Oh, okay.
So, but on the 360. So I would imagine there's a paywall knocking around the corner. Do you know what I mean? So you don't get nothing for free in this world.
No.
Unless it's Flappy Bird. Did you play that?
I did. I was going to wonder if you were going to mention that in the news. Actually, the fact it got.
Well, yeah. Maybe we'll save that. Yeah, I wasn't going to. Will you? Maybe we'll have.
Yeah. Okay. The only other game I played very, very briefly, which just reminded me of that 3 games, was Dead Island.
Yes.
Which was the Xbox Gold game a couple of weeks ago. And
had you played it before?
No, I hadn't. I thought it was shite.
Okay. Really?
I didn't really play it for long enough, to be honest, to give it a proper go. I may go back to it later in the week, but it just seemed really dated.
Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, my memories of it I quite enjoyed it. Although I played it for 3 or 4 hours, got a bit of fun out of it. But I suppose
just compared to sort of Dead Rising, which was an awesome game. It's really sluggish, it seemed to me, and it reminded me of that really old game called Prey. Do you remember that sort of game?
Prey, blimey, that was first year of the Xbox 360.
Yeah, exactly. It had that kind of vibe to it. I just thought it was really clunky, and I don't know. maybe I haven't given it enough time. But yeah, that's pretty much been me. So I mean, what games have you been playing?
Right, yeah, okay. So obviously FIFA 14 has been sort of bumbling there in the background till I got sacked, and then I kind of threw me controller down and kind of trying to work out how to get it working again, basically. So played quite a bit of that. But another game that I picked up is by Telltale Games, and it's their latest their sort of follow on from The Walking Dead, which is called The Wolf Among Us. Okay, and they've released episode 1 and 2, and hold your breath here. I've completed episode 1 and 2. Okay,
really?
So I'm actually at the same stage as I am in The Walking Dead, because I've only ever done episode 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead, and I must do 3, 4, and 5 in the little 400 days in between before I move on to the next one. I must play it. I actually bought it again. Did you remember one of our first podcasts where I told you how many times I bought The Walking Dead?
Yes.
360, PC, and the PS3.
Yeah.
Well, this week I bought it on the Vita as well, with the off chance that I will play it when I'm on my flights. I'm going to Russia again in about 10 days, so that's my aeroplane game. I'm going to hold it back for that. But I played the Wolf Among Us. Now, anybody who knows anything about the graphic novel Fables will be very at home with this game, because it's set in the Fables.
Oh, excuse me.
All right.
Yes, I'm fine. Sorry, I should get a mute button.
Do we need an exorcist? Or are we okay at the moment?
No, it's just a sneeze.
Okay, so set in the world of Fables, The Wolf Among Us. Now you play the character called Bigby, who's the big bad wolf, and all the characters in the world are from Fables. So you've got Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, Jack and the Beanstalk. It's all of those characters. Okay, Georgie, Porgy, Pudding and Pie, I think, is in episode 2. It is fantastic. The storyline is as good as The Walking Dead's. Not quite as good, but it's up there. Their storytelling from Telltale is fantastic. Really gripping. Really, I got really into it. I played them back to back, actually, and that's kind of one of the things I'm not overly great about episodic gaming is I want more. Do you know what I mean? And when the next episode 3 comes out, which could be another couple of months, my yearning for it might not be there. I may not buy it. I may wait until it goes on a sale. So it's just it's great they do it like this, because people buying the early episodes fund the latter ones. But I get it. You get in the mood for it, and it's right for the time now. But there's no more. I've peaked to where I can go. So storyline is there's a serial killer in Fableland, and you, the big bad wolf, and Snow White are the detectives in solving the murder. And if you imagine this world beautifully drawn, just like The Walking Dead, you're getting the idea of where it is. The first episode, if I'm not wrong, is free on the 360. Episode 1 is actually free. And you're going to get about 2 to 3 hours of gameplay out of that.
Yeah.
So if you can grab it, I really would. And you like The Walking Dead, then this is right up your street.
What's it called again, sorry?
The Wolf Among Us.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so I've got it on Steam. But I did actually download the first episode on the 360. I think it was free over Christmas. It should still be free. They tend to give the first one away, don't they? And to get you into it, and then hopefully you'll buy the others. So and this one certainly scratched that itch for me, I suppose you could say. It's not much of an itch because I haven't completed the other one, but yeah, The Wolf Among Us, very very good. Really got into it this week. It just kind of was something I wanted to play because I knew The Walking Dead was so good, and and that's highly recommended that one.
Yeah.
There were a couple of glitchy problems with when it goes between scenes, and when sometimes it's trying to save as you're running after somebody, so so the screen will freeze, and so it's quite annoying. But I believe that's on all versions, not just my PC. So it wasn't anything for me. So even after all these years, they've still got some glitches in these Telltale games. But there we go.
Yeah.
And when you think they're not graphically pushing much, are they?
No, they're not. No.
You think it's just a bit lazy programming, maybe. So, but there we go. Okay, so another game I've been playing for a few weeks, and of course the guys off the Cranky Gamers are going into orbit over this game, really, and it's called Hearthstone.
Right.
Okay, and it's a free game on the PC. And I think it'll work on pretty much anything, Rob. And you can probably get it for your Mac. And it's set in the World of Warcraft world, but it's a card game, so it's in the genre of Magic the Gathering.
Right.
Okay, so if you like World of Warcraft and the world and its environment, and you like the Magic the Gathering type sort of card one-on-one battle games, then this is right up that street. Really is. Now, I'm not into World of Warcraft at all.
No, I'm not. I've never played it.
Never played it. I haven't got a clue.
No.
I dabbled with Magic the Gathering, and I quite liked it. And I do like my board games, card games. Okay, so I gave it a go, and it came recommended from them, and it's actually really, really good. There is some, because it's free, you can actually buy packs of cards, but you don't have to. You just play more games. You earn in-game currency to buy yourself more packs. So you can technically get hours and hours of play from this game, and it's online multiplayer as well. So if you signed up, you could give me a game, and I could give you a game, and there's no cost. So it's worth checking out if you like that type of thing. And I got into it for 2 or 3 nights, and then it completely dropped like a stone for me. Unfortunately, I want to go back to it, but I'm finding too much other things to get in the way. Probably a little bit like you and GTA. You probably want to go back and play it, but there's other things that you could be doing that you've not experienced yet. So you've not heard of that then, Hearthstone?
I've not heard of it.
It's got a weird spelling. It's Hearth stone. So I don't know if it's Hearthstone or Hearthstone, or it's a bit of an awkward spelling, but you'll be able to find it on battle.net, I think. So I think it's on that same portal where you can actually download World of Warcraft and Diablo 3. Yeah. So it's kind of in that kind of, if you know what I'm talking about when I say those get other games. So worth looking at. It's freebie. It's free. Can't get better than that, can you? Actually, I've got a little question a bit later on about free-to-play games. We'll have a little discussion about it, see what you think. Okay. Because of course, my first 2 games I've talked about here, The Wolf Among Us, Episode 1 is free, and Hearthstone is a completely free game. So, would you get that? Do you get that much on the 360 and the Microsoft and PlayStation? They don't tend to give you as much as PC gaming, do they?
No, they don't. Unless you've got gold, and even then, it's not good games as we've said on a number of occasions, isn't it?
Exactly. And we talk about it. You talk about games for gold. You talk about PS Plus, PlayStation Plus. Free games this month. Well, they're not, because I've had to pay 12 quid a quarter for my PlayStation, and I'm paying £12 a month because I've got 2 gold subscriptions. So, it's not free, because if I stopped them, I wouldn't be able to play it anymore. So it's just like you're permanently renting it, whereas these are genuinely free games. And they probably will work on most systems as well, both those 2 that I've just mentioned. So, but there we go. Okay, so another quickie is Puzzle Quest, the Marvel Puzzle Quest it's called, and this is also free on the PC, and I think it's free on the iOS, on Apple.
Oh, right.
So if you've got an Apple, if you've got an iPad or an iPhone, you should be able to get this off the store. So Marvel Puzzle Quest. So it's very straightforward. It's Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
It's Puzzle Quest. Yeah, you know Puzzle Quest?
I do know Puzzle Quest, yeah.
Fantastic, how would you describe it? Adventure game from about sort of 5-6 years ago, maybe a bit more.
It's even older than that.
Yeah, it might be actually. Yeah, it might be a bit older than that. Puzzle Quest 1 and Puzzle Quest 2 were very, very good games. These sort of RPG adventures when you actually have to do the fighting of the when you have to fight, you go into a Bejeweled game. It's a match 3 Bejeweled game, isn't it? It's its lowest common denominator there, really. So, and this is the same thing. It's an adventure game. It's an RPG. It's set in the Marvel universe. Iron Man, Spider-Man, they're all there. I think Spider-Man's Marvel, isn't he? Yes, he is.
Certainly is.
Yeah. I get confused between Marvel and is it DC?
DC, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, just to go sideways a little bit, I talked about a few weeks ago Batman cartoons, the 2 films,
Yes.
they're in 2 parts. So I think it's Batman: The Dark Knight, where he's an old man.
Yeah.
Thoroughly recommend it. Absolutely fantastic movies. Movie because it's in 2 parts. Is actually on Love Film. So if anybody's got Love Film, and I think Batman Year One is on there as well, which is also a fantastic movie as well. So check them out. But that's nothing to do with Marvel because that's DC. This is Marvel Puzzle Quest. It's free. It's fantastic. You will love it if you like Puzzle Quest. You like Marvel. It's free. Go and get it. I won't say anything more about that because you can't really, I can't describe it much more better than that because I gave it about an hour.
Yeah,
that's all I needed. It's a real shame that. Well, actually, I say that it's a real shame. I haven't checked it out, but it'd be really nice if the iOS and PC would talk to each other in the cloud, so you could take your progress cross-platform. But it's unlikely. I haven't checked it out, so
I doubt it.
It might be possible. I'm clutching at a straw there, really.
Yeah.
But so I played a bit of that. That was a couple of weeks ago, actually. That was set up ready for me. We were due to record last time. So a couple of 360 games now.
Okay.
So managed to pry away one of the joysticks from the kids and their Xboxes and sit on mine and actually play. Now I picked up 2 games. Now I've got one on pre-release, which I can talk about because by the time this goes on iTunes, it will be out. So we'll talk about it. And one that's a bit of an older game. So I'll talk about that one first. Now, I got Assassin's Creed Black Flag on the 360. I got it quite cheap. I think it was about £17.99, 18 quid.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, where did I get that from? It was an online job. It came through the post. I don't know if it was Amazon or Play. I can't remember. It was like a deal. I think I may have had some money. I may have had some money in one of the accounts to extra purchase that. Either way, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now I play all my games on my daughter's gamer tags. So if you look on Rikki32, you're not going to see me on there because that's really Minecraft version of the gaming world. But anyway, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's Assassin's Creed. It's the best one they've ever done. It's a pirate simulator. It's about as much as I can say, really. Really, really, really good. Really good. Now, if you've heard anything about it, and people are saying, yeah, it's quite good, it's the best one. And I played 3, and that was all right. I quite like 3, actually. But this is way better than 3.
I haven't played it since the first one.
You haven't? That was awful. First one's... I think the second one was kind of like the best one until the last sort of 12 months when this one came out. But it's absolutely fantastic. Graphically on the 360, it is gorgeous. And I believe it's actually out on the current gen, isn't it? The X-Bone.
It is. Yeah.
PS4, and it it's meant to look even better, but it looks fantastic on the PS3. You've got hours and hours of leveling up and gameplay and missions and the best part of the game that I've experienced so far is the battles at sea. By an absolute mile. I mean, the climbing is as it was before, but this is a really new element to Assassin's Creed. Where I think they dipped into it on number 3, but you can actually level up your boat now. so when you're having battles and you win, you can board the other boat. You can steal all the gold and you can even steal the crew, right? And you can level up the crew. You can level up the boat. and by going ashore and buying things and trading, it's just immense. And if you're looking for a little bit of an alternative to GTA for that kind of immersive world, I really do think that you should have a look at this if you can get it
it's
on
something.
rent.
It's something that's been sort of the back of my mind. I mean, my next Bioshock Infinite would be my next, sort of big game purchase.
Yeah.
It's a big game. It's not going to be expensive, but it's going to be a big game in the sense it's going to take up a lot of time. But I think Assassin's Creed Black Flag will probably be lurking in the background for sure. But I've said it before. I like to get one of these sort of real sort of marquee games one at a time. Blitz it like I have GTA for last month, and then go on to the next one.
Yeah. So you got a couple lined up, and they're going to be absolutely mega cheap now.
Oh yeah, that's the best way to do it as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Why pay 40, 50 quid and get it when it comes out?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I expect Bioshock Infinite will probably be 12, 14 quid maybe. No?
Yeah, I'm surprised it isn't already. Actually, it's I mean, I picked up Infinite with Bioshock 1 and 2 for £9, mate, on the PC. So
really,
what a shame. Okay, so the last game, I haven't played a lot of this. I've given it about, I say a lot. I'm going to be giving this a lot more, and it is the game for the Lego Movie.
Yes.
Now, I played Marvel, and I played Lord of the Rings. I've even got Lord of the Rings on my Vita.
Yeah.
And all the other ones before it. But this is something else. It is. Now, I've not seen the movie yet. Now I've stopped. Now I've stopped playing after about 3 chapters, because I kind of got the feeling, and I don't know if this is true, but I got a feeling that the game is following the movie really quite tightly. Does the movie start off with a construction worker who falls down a hole and then ends up meeting a girl with sort of white and red hair?
Wild style, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah,
yeah.
You kind of get. I wasn't playing with the sound particularly high, so it was kind of, and the kids were running around, and of course my son was like, "What's that? That looks fantastic!" And it is, mate. It is incredible. The construction workers, after about 5 minutes, break into this most annoying. Well, I don't know if it's annoying song or
everything is awesome
when the disco floor raises up. Yeah.
Everything is great when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome.
Right. Okay. That one. Yeah. Now, so it's going to be very, very big. That song. I've got a feeling.
It's in the film more than once, shall I say?
Right. Okay. So, did you ever play? So on the I don't know if it was Lego Star Wars the complete.
I was gonna say this Lego Star Wars the prequel.
Well, the complete, the one where you got all 6 of them together. Yeah. They had an environment on there called Crikey, where it was kind of like a Lego land, and it had a playground and right. Okay, so imagine that is the sort of home of where you start the game, and you don't have to do the story. You can go off and kind of RPG yourself.
Okay.
And do anything. The idea of the game, from what I get so far, and I think it's once I see the movie tomorrow night, I'm going to come back to the game.
Yeah.
Try and really hammer it over the weekend. Well, saying that, I've got loads on, but anyway, I'll try and hammer it tomorrow night when I come back from seeing the movie. From what I get, when you enter the construction world, you have to collect instructions to build things like cranes.
Yeah.
Houses, like you can buy in the shops. You can buy like a house with a little garden, can't you?
Yeah.
And when you find the instructions, it starts to build, and halfway through it will stop, and it will say, "We've got a piece missing. You must find it." And it's got this. All the pieces are in a circle, in a rotation circle, and you have to find the bit to fit in. When you find it, it puts it in place, and then it will carry on building, and then it'll go, "We've lost this piece. You must find it." And it's like a little mini game.
Yeah.
So the objective of the game is to find the instructions for the piece you need to build, and it is just flipping fun. I just, if it ties in with the movie, it's going to be great.
It sounds like it will.
Exactly, and
it's definitely it's funny how this happened before. What I was going to say about Star Wars is that I remember the original prequel game came out before the third
It
Star Wars
did.
movie.
That's right. Yeah, one
So
and
I
two
didn't
had
want to
already
play
come out.
it until I'd seen the film.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. Yeah, I remember that. And what a stinker both were. But
Yeah.
this isn't going to be. I really
No.
think this is going to be huge. And I've not seen the Lord of the Rings films, and I'm finding that a real chore. I'm finding playing Lord of the Rings without really knowing what's going on is quite difficult. The Batman games, they also didn't follow any of the films, did they?
They didn't.
So
Yeah.
they were quite hard to play. But when there's a movie and it's set and it follows the film, like I think this one does, like I think, well, Marvel didn't. So I suppose that's the first one that really broke the trend for me personally. That I did quite enjoy. Actually, I found something out in the menu settings. Do you remember when I mentioned multiplayer on Marvel had the dynamic
screen thing? Yeah.
There's a setting in the options to actually hold it vertically
Oh,
or dynamic, So I might
oh,
revisit.
you bellend.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. That's the problem, you see. Like FIFA, we just jump into these games. We don't really investigate what's going on in the background. Oh dear. Anyway, but yeah. So I'll have a lot more to say about this next time we speak. I reckon. I've done 2 chapters, 2.5. I think, or maybe 3 chapters. I think there's about 12. And it says I've only done 3% of the game so far. So I think there's a lot, like any Lego game, there is hiddenness. Discover that.
Yeah.
Actually, when you get collect so many studs, you get True Jedi, I think it was. And,
Yes.
What were the other ones? There was Harry. What was Harry Potter's?
I'd never played Harry Potter. Then.
Okay, I've got those. Anyway,
massive wand or something.
when you when you collect enough studs in this one, the game goes, everything is awesome, like that, and then it just stops. It's just fantastic. I absolutely loved it. So I'm absolutely right in stopping. I'm going to go and watch the movie.
Yes,
and I'm going to pick it up again.
We'll talk about the movie next week.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's amazing.
Hopefully, like most Lego games, they come in about the £30 mark, don't they? So you might be looking to. You should get yourself a rental service, mate. Like
I have been talking about going back to Love Film.
No, well, they don't do it anymore.
Oh, they don't?
No, so good luck. I think Boomerang in the UK is...
Boomerang?
Yeah, let me...
See, my finger's on the pulse.
Is this it? No. Okay, I can't remember. There is one. One of the guys on the Cranky Gamers, he has a rental service, like Love Film, basically. It might be £5 a month, but you can swap in games in and out as much as you want. I always remember the trick for Love Film, as it was for me. I only ever kept one game in my list. You always get continually blasted with emails. Fill up your list. You must have at least a minimum of 10. And no, I want one game, and it's the one that's out today, brand new. And I used to always get it. Because if you send back the game, you kind of got to be clever. If you send back the game about a week before the one you want is due to be released, and you've added it to your list months ago, then I tended to always get the latest game. So you should. Anyway, we digress. But there we go. That's my gaming.
Oh, that's cool.
This week. So nice spread of games, a bit of PC. I've done a bit of Vita, but not a lot. I've just been picking up and playing it. Really, just nothing in depth. Playing a lot of Hotline Miami on there. Now, I played that before on the PC, but it works so well on the Vita because you've got your twin sticks. It's perfect. It's perfect. There are some games that I've got on the PC that I think, like Hotline Miami, like Splunky, that work perfectly. Work perfectly on the Vita. So I'm going to be looking forward to playing a bit more of that. But yeah, that's my gaming. That's me done.
Awesome. Cool. All right then. We should take a break, and then we'll be back with news. There's quite a bit, because obviously we've not been around for a few weeks. So I've got quite a few retro stories. I know you've got a few yourself as well, haven't you?
Yeah, just a couple of bits. Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So this week's interlude music is an 8-bit remix of "Head Like a Hole" by 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, I love that song.
It's cool.
Oh, I love that song.
It's a very, very cool remix.
Yeah, I look forward to that. Hearing that.
It's done by an artist called Inverse Phase, and the track's called "Head Like Eye Hole."
Mm-hmm.
No, not head like I hole, so head like IO. From the album Pretty 8 Machine. See what I've done there?
Oh, yeah, that's very clever. Yeah.
Can buy it on Bandcamp if anyone likes the sound of it. So, usual thing, grab yourself a brew, and we'll be back in 5. Okay, welcome back to the second part of the show, and we're going to go straight into the news. Shall I go first with
Well, I'll
my
tell you
news, or
what.
do you want to do yours first?
I'll go first because
Okay,
I haven't got very much
no worries.
this time because of course with everything that's been going on, I haven't a lot of time to really go check out what's going on. So
Right.
I think one of the biggest things that I noticed over the last couple of weeks is the acquirement of Gears of War franchise by
Yes,
Microsoft. Now you probably saw this, didn't
I
you?
did.
Yeah. Now, of course, we thought that this on our very last show we
Mm,
talked about Gears of War at length, didn't we?
yeah,
Thinking, it all done and dusted,
to the
and
end of it, yeah.
almost pre-admitted between us, really, that we'd had enough. And then all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
leaving it as a classic
yeah.
franchise.
And then Gears of War has now been sold to Microsoft, so
Mm.
there might be life in the old girl just yet. So
Oh, man, definitely.
I would imagine it will be the latest generation where
Yeah.
that we might see this revamped up, perhaps. What do you think? What do you reckon they're going to do with it?
I
MMO?
no, I think that would be a massive misstep if I did that. To be honest, I think yeah, just an updated next gen version of it. I can't. I don't think we'll see anything for well a good year or two.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just think they'll give it a bit of a facelift and
But
bring out the old thing because
what
you
could
know
they do though? What? How could they take it into a new direction? I don't know what they're going to do with it. I
I
mean,
don't. They haven't really done that much different in the four games that have been out. To be honest, they've updated the online multiplayer, haven't they, and introduced various modes and things. So they may do minor tweaks, but I can't think they'll change it massively and make it a mass
mm,
multiplayer online game. I mean, it would be cool if they could make it 30,
mm,
40 player or something.
that would be
But
interesting. Yeah, that would. I
yeah,
really, I'd be interested to see what they do with it. I mean, because they'll have a lot more power with the new machine, but
mm,
the old games were so good anyway. I mean, but I don't really want it falling into a Call of Duty Battlefield area where it's just a rehash, same thing every year, and
well,
just a few new ideas, but nothing really groundbreaking. And that's
no,
kind of to me.
exactly.
Now, I've seen some pre-beta footage of Titanfall, which
Yes.
is coming to the Xbox One and the PC in the coming months.
Mm.
And I think there's a beta subscriptions are up for that this weekend actually. So
Oh, okay.
so if you've got an Xbox One, get on there. If you've got a PC, which I did and I've registered, so hopefully I can get an invite to the beta.
Mm.
This looks the closest thing to Gears of War for the next gen, the new gen.
Yeah.
So and it looks I was watching some videos of it, and it just looks shooty explosions. Don't know what the fuck's going on, kind of,
Mm.
and it's nothing new. That's the problem. I know that you're playing in mechs, but and hopefully they don't do that with Gears of War if they're going to do it again. They're
Yeah,
prob-
I think good sort of comparison would be Halo, which was a last, the Xbox
Mm,
original Xbox
yep.
game that then put across to the next gen. They didn't do much with it, and I would say it's kind of certainly for me and a lot of other people
Yes.
that lost interest in it a long time ago. So
Yeah.
if they just change update the graphics and don't really do anything new, I can't see it porting over too well. I just can't. People want something new, don't they, with the new gen?
Yeah. That's
Um,
right. That's right.
unless they bring out a fifth game for the 360 and keep the 360 going for a little bit longer, because that would
Mm,
keep people attached to that console, wouldn't it? Depends
yeah.
it leaves them lots of options available, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, but there has to be a reason why Epic got rid of it in the first place. Because I know they do
Money.
well. There's money, but
Yeah.
also they do their graphics, their engine developers, aren't they? I think they do Unreal. Is it the Unreal Engine? Is their baby?
Yeah.
And so pretty much sort of 80% of all games that are on the market are developed on that engine. So they're,
Yeah.
why dip into one game when they have a little finger in every pie, so to speak. So you can see why they got rid of it. But
Mm.
Yeah, interesting.
We
So
shall see. We shall
time will
see.
tell. Time will
Yeah.
tell on that one. And the other one, which is very exciting for me anyway, for those who like their pinball.
God, okay.
Leave it. Okay, so the great Zen pinball or Pinball FX2 on the previous on the Xbox side of things. The developers Zen are releasing a football game called Super League Football.
Okay.
So set in a pinball table. I think there's about 8 teams. You know, the big teams like Madrid and Arsenal, Man United. They're all represented in Barcelona and that. So I think there's only 8 teams. I don't know quite what it's going to look like and what it's going to do, but it does look very, very interesting. So that's coming soon to Zen Pinball. So no release date just yet, but the tables look incredible, as you can do with video game pinball. And yeah, just thought I'd mention that. I think they haven't got a release date, but I would imagine it's around the corner by the looks of things. So just thought I'd give that as a bit of an updated news from me. Really, I'm very sorry I haven't got very much, but
that's all right.
I believe you've got loads. So let's get.
I have got a fair bit, and I've this is all sort of news from a couple of weeks ago, as opposed to over the whole 4 weeks, because there would just be like too much to go through. The top story probably has to be about a vintage cartridge that went on eBay. I don't know if you've ever heard about this.
Did it go for thousands?
Yeah, but basically a really, really rare NES cartridge went up on sale, and it's Nintendo World Championships, which was a very, very limited edition cartridge that was given to players of NES championships back in the day, and it included 6 minutes of Mario Brothers, Rad Racer, and Tetris, and the goal was to rack up as many points in that time period. Extremely, very, very hard to get, because you had to win it in these competitions. And previously, sort of a mint boxed one went for about $17,000. That was about a year or so ago. So this popped up on eBay, and it was a loose one where the sticker had been sort of ripped off, but it was a genuine cart, but it was loose. And well-known sort of website Geek Pride and loads of other sites as well picked up on the story and were running with it, and it sort of went a bit viral. And the bids were racking up, and they were sort of speculating it might get to sort of 10 grand or whatever. Yeah. It hit 10 grand. It kept going. It kept going up and up and up, and it ended up going for, I think it was something absolutely insane. Let me just, it went for $99,000.
How many?
$99,000. So just under $100,000.
Bloody hell!
So that's 70. Well, about 60 grand.
Jeez.
Which is ridiculous, okay? And everyone was just, that's amazing, and that's just sort of a new benchmark for retro game collecting. If you actually are trying to collect all these retro games, if games are going to go for that price, is it worth trying to be completist? It's going to be crazy. And that sort of rumbled on for a week or so. And then it turned out that the bids, it was spam bidder.
Oh, God. So what was the next nearest for that?
Lots of. Whenever there's a news story on this sort of thing and people get interested in the auction, you get a lot of idiots that just go on and bid up really high, and they have no intention of paying for it. And all that can happen is they get a non-paying bidder strike on eBay. It doesn't have any effect on them. It just is a pain in the ass to the seller, because they've got to resell it or do a second chance offer to another buyer, or bidder rather. So he put in second chance offers to a lot of people, and no one took it up on it. Apparently, the high bidder, his 2-year-old son, bid on it by mistake.
Jesus.
Could you not think of anything better?
No.
So it's difficult to say what the real value of it is, because obviously these idiots jumped on the bandwagon. It did. When you think of that, a mint box one went for 17 grand, I think it was about a year ago, it would have been a bit bizarre for one to go for 6 times that. But it was just because of the publicity of the story. So yeah, so the guy didn't get his to pay his mortgage off, unfortunately, and so it was an interesting story and sort of rumbled on for a couple of weeks.
That's very interesting, especially so get you looking in your lofts and your garages just to see if there's something knocking around from yesteryear that might be.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot of rare games out there from that era. They're obviously going to go for that kind of money, but I know there's quite a few Mega Drive games. Even something like Streets of Rage 3 is quite rare. You can go for about 50 or 60 quid.
Yeah. Actually, Bonnie's Gran has always said down in her loft there is one of those original Atari 2600s box with a load of games. I've never kind of had the tenacity to kind of nip up to her loft and grab it. I bet there's something up there that might be worth a few quid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the console probably not. Some of the games would be. Yeah, definitely.
So I'd imagine it works.
Yeah.
Like the old things, they tend to go on forever, don't they? But interesting story that, mate.
Cool. Next story. PS Solar, the sort of garage Mega Drive RPG that got released.
Yes.
Gosh, maybe 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it did obviously really, really successful. They are doing an HD remake of it, which will be coming out on the 360, the PC, the Mac, the Linux, and even the Dreamcast.
Sorry, did you say the Linux?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I thought it was Linux, isn't it?
Or whatever however you pronounce it.
Yeah, sorry. Go on. Yes. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the original game, but in HD, basically.
Okay.
So they do on a lot of updates of vintage games on sort of 360 and that. So I, having missed out on it originally, and I don't really want to pay 100 quid for a Mega Drive cartridge. That's what you have to pay for the original PS Solar. I will definitely get this when it comes out on Xbox.
Yeah.
It's very nice. It's due come out in March, so not too long to wait.
That's just around the corner. Yeah, excellent. How much is it going to be? Is it an arcade release or is it a cart?
I'm sure it'll be probably an indie arcade release.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that should be pretty reasonable then, shouldn't it?
I would think so. Yeah. If it's less than 12 quid or whatever, I'd probably buy it.
Yeah. How do you feel about picking up stuff on the 360 now, knowing that you might only see it for a year?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to drop 10 quid on a game on the arcade there, or the?
Knowing
that it's going to die with the machine.
You'll still be able to play it when you're offline, won't you?
True.
I know. A lot of games, if you get the red ring of death and you have to put your hard drive on a new machine, then you don't get the full game offline, do you?
Yeah. Cool.
But if it's still got online, if it's still got offline play value, then no, it doesn't bother me too much.
Yeah. Is it coming to any other formats? Just the Xbox, did you say, or
Xbox, PC, Mac, and whatever that Linux? What is a Linux anyway?
Just an operating system like Windows.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. A Mac. What does Mac have? Leopard, or what's the Snow Leopard or something? Isn't it the Apple Mac?
Beaver or something now, but
yeah. Okay.
Ferret.
Well, I've never had a Mac. In fact, I did get lent one once, and I was so lost.
They're great. I'm running one on OS 10.4, which is nearly 8 years old now. Just because it's an old machine. When I do upgrade, I would love to get a new Mac, but they're just so expensive. So right. Returning back to PC, a laptop, reluctantly. But anyway, that's another story. The next story that we've got is but a scrolling beat 'em up that's coming out on the Mega Drive. It's made by a developer called Project Y. They are the developers that made PS Solar. So it's It's looking very good from the screenshots I've seen so far, and if it's made by them, it's going to be good. But it's been sort of in development since late 2012, so it's been taken over for a while. But it looks really good. The graphics look better than sort of Streets of Rage. It's an update on that, but still very 16-bit. There's not much to go on at the moment other than the 2 screenshots, but it's definitely one I would look to get.
Yeah, is there lots of good community reaction to it?
Yes,
that you're aware of. Yeah,
absolutely. Everyone's very excited.
And what's the? It's only coming out on the Mega Drive. Is that right?
Yeah, but I'm sure they'll do what they did with PS Solus, so they'll release it on cartridge format. For about the $50 mark. That's normally what PS Solus went for initially. So now it goes for over £100, but initially it was that. And then I guess they will update it and put it online a year or 2 down the line. I must get another vintage Mega Drive after the one I had before.
Actually, I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but I saw something online the other day that was oh damn! No, I wish I could remember its name. Did I put it into my browser bar save? Yeah, I might have done on my other computer. It was a 3-in-1 machine. That had NES, SNES, and Genesis.
I know the machine. Yes, I have seen that. They're quite hard to get hold of, actually.
Are they?
Like by all accounts, but about £100, aren't they? But they've got everything. I think it's even more than 3. I think, and might even be.
Yeah, well, I think you could also put Game Boy Advance in it as well.
Yeah.
The cartridge that holds the actual cartridges. So it's like a 4-in-1 really, and in the front were all manner of ports to shove your controllers into. Looks quite an incredible little bit of kit, and of course it's great because you can, if you something breaks, then you've lost all 3, so it's not so great. But at least they're still making them. These types.
Of course, there's the sort of the reissue one we talked about a few weeks back. You get from Argos.
Yeah, that's right. I think part of the video that I watched, they were saying that the technology has now kind of become kind of almost freeware, so allowing businesses and companies to design their own hybrids of Frankenstein's.
Well, they're so
monster
old,
versions, but effectively it becomes a ROM machine. Well, when I say a ROM machine, but like an equivalent. But you can actually use your cartridges and just buy cartridges like this company you just mentioned are making brand new games that would work in a Mega Drive or one of these hybrid things. So yeah, very good. So it's great that that everything's still going, it's still alive for those people that are still into it. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely that'll be one to keep an eye out if you're into your vintage games. Another quick one. Do you remember Game Genie?
Yes. The cheat system. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right, someone's come up with a way of creating ROM or patching ROMs with Game Genie cheats.
Okay.
Which is quite cool. I never had a Game Genie back in the day.
No, I didn't either, but I was aware of it.
There was certainly a big demand because you plugged it into your machine and you plugged the cart into that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's like a code you had to type in.
Yep.
When you logged it in. Some of the cheats, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I recall some of them were like ridiculous. And obviously a lot of people got a lot of fun out of that. So someone has come up with a way of basically modding your ROMs so you can have those cheats.
Well, I've seen ROMs being modded in terms of Japanese ROMs being modded with English text. Yeah. So that's quite a straightforward mod, but the cheat side, no, I've not seen that before. So that's
and it actually uses the same inputting system as the original Game Genie did.
Okay.
So you're typing in the same code and stuff. The extra bit of geeks, so
got to keep it retro.
So it's called Game Genie Guy. If anyone is interested in that, and you like your Game Genies from back in the day.
Is that out now, or is it due to be out?
No, it's out now. It is out now.
What's it cost?
I think it's free. Yeah.
Oh, it's just a piece of software, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah, not an actual Game Genie, no. That would have been cool. But,
Probably would have been about £1,000.
yeah.
Because nobody wants them, as long as you only sell one a month.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
That's cool. I've got one other story as well.
Okay.
Do you remember? Did you ever have a Commodore Amiga?
No, I didn't. No, my friend did, and I was so jealous because he had, you know, it was the slightly better version of the Spectrum, wasn't it? It was more colours, bit better sound, that sort of thing. Proper keyboard.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember the cassettes? Because it used to have a separate cassette cassette loader, didn't it? Which you had to plug in, and it was a sort of curvy thing. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. That's I think you're thinking of the C64. That was the one with the separate.
Yeah. What did you say?
The Amiga.
Oh, the Amiga. What did you? I thought you said the Commodore 64.
Well, if I did, I apologise, but
maybe you didn't. Yeah, I had an Amiga. Carry on.
It's getting late now.
It is, and the beer's kicked in.
Anyway, you remember sort of the early 90s when the Amiga and the Atari XT and that were at their prime, you'd get monthly magazines which would come out with demo discs on the front.
Yes,
a floppy disk.
Yeah, the 3.5.
3.5 inch, yeah. For those new kids, it's the one that looks like the... Yeah.
Too many jokes.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, for those new people who don't know what a floppy disk is, it's the thing that looks like a save icon in Word.
Yeah.
Anyway, a new magazine has come out called 880 Gamer, and it is a physical magazine, not an e-magazine, a proper magazine, and it comes with cover discs, which is a nice little retro nod. Obviously, sort of demand by game magazines has really, well, like all magazines really, has diminished in recent years, because if you want to know something about games, you just look it up on your phone. You don't wait a month until the new magazine comes out. I can't remember the last time I bought a gaming magazine, apart from Retro Gamer, which obviously
Well, I mean, unfortunately, it's always, especially with this Amiga one, even if you buy an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 magazine, it's out of date. So, they got more luck with these. I think the retro magazine market is quite big, isn't it?
It is. No,
because that retro magazine is very good. I've got a couple of editions of those, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, Retro Gamer is brilliant magazine. But this is obviously concentrating just on the Amiga.
Yep.
And it's basically it's coming out with a sort of demo disc each month. It's just had its second issue, so it's still quite early on, but it's something different.
Yeah, no, definitely worth a look.
Pictures everything that you know and love about the old Amiga. Loads of reviews and cheats. Obviously, reviews of games back in the day. Unless people do a homebrew game here and there,
Yeah.
And it even ventures back into the past by printing old adverts from back in the day.
Yeah.
Sort of talking to old artists and composers, game designers and stuff from the Amiga. So
that's excellent. That's really good. I love the old Amiga scene. Now, I had an Amiga for one game alone, and it was Sensible World of Soccer. Now, in a few weeks, I think we might do a spotlight on that game series.
I think we will have to. Yeah, it's
Did you ever play it in the day?
I did. Yeah.
Now, I lost many days playing this, many adventures going through the world, through the leagues and that. And my Amiga is in my dad's loft, and it's boxed, and I've got a big box next to it with lots of floppy disks.
Yeah.
So I would imagine over the next couple of months I will be digging that out. Well, I'll have to remove it from the house. So what I might do is I'll bring it back, check it works, because it hasn't been turned on for about 20 years, I would imagine, and see if we can get hold of a copy of this 880 game, and then see if we'll give it a live review. But
we'll get me round, and we'll do have a few beers, play some Sensi Soccer.
Well, to be honest with you, I can already do that. on the.
I know, but
I'm emulating it on the PC, and it's as good as it ever was. Sensi Soccer. It really is so deep, and I'll talk about that a bit more in a few weeks because they've done some different things to it on my version. But the original Amiga version was fantastic. Cannon fodder, and do you remember those games? What else do they do? What games do you remember from the Amiga days? Did you own
Rainbow Islands?
Monkey Island.
Kiwi, whatever it's called.
The New Zealand story.
New Zealand story, that's it. Yeah.
Kiwi.
It had a kiwi in it.
Oh dear.
The character was a kiwi.
Yeah.
As in the bird, not as in the racial stereotype.
Yeah. No, I don't know about you, but I do remember the Amiga being. I did nothing else but game on it. You know when you turn it on.
I never had one.
Oh, you didn't, right? Okay. When you turn them on,
a couple of my mates had them. So.
Right. They kind of boot to these sort of dashboard type things. I never really understood. I used to put the disc in, and it's used to load a game, and that's all I ever did. But I would imagine there's lots of programming bits you could have done on it. I think because it was kind of that sort of point in between a home computer and a gaming machine.
Yeah.
In the day, if you had a home computer, you had a BBC, didn't you?
Yeah.
And if you had a games machine, you probably had a Spectrum or a Commodore 64, which is what we talked about earlier. But the Atari ST and the Amiga was the middleman.
Middle of the ground, yeah. You could convince your parents it was for doing homework on, but really it wasn't.
Exactly. Now, you know, in lovely Lymington,
yes,
down the one-way street, right in the middle of the high street. Yeah, you head towards. So you're in the high street. You got that Costa Coffee and Boots. You head down that road. Now, if you go past the Barb's Museum on the left, there's a road that goes off where the old school used to be in that car park.
Oh, right.
Now, that house on the corner there, probably back in 1983, 1984, used to hold. I used to go to computer club.
Okay.
Right, where we used to play with and learn programming and play games on Amigas, Acorns, Apples, machines called the Dragon, BBC Micro, and it was very interesting. I think it might have been a computer shop back in the day, selling PCs, computers like we've been talking about, and I used to go there once a week. I think I was part of their computer club.
Really?
Yeah, sad, isn't it? But I do remember that. I going there 3 or 4 times in my youth. So we're going back to probably when I was about 9 or 10.
Really?
Incredible age. Yeah, so I was about 82. I was 10. So. I do remember that quite vividly. Computer club every once a week. It was a kind of like an after-school thing. It was never part of school, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah. So
a bit of
little
a
memory there.
Amiga, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
so
880 gamer. Check it out if you can.
I will. I personally think I will actually because I think that really tickles me nerves. Really, I think with the old Amiga brings a little tear to my eye. So definitely gonna have a look at that.
Yeah. Cool. The last news story is very, 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 very awesome because
you've won the lottery.
The Sega Mega Drive is an awesome machine, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Transformers are awesome, aren't they?
They were.
So what would be? What could possibly be better than a Sega Mega Drive? Than a Sega Mega Drive that transforms into a Megatron.
No way. Right. Oh my god.
I'm going to send you a link.
Yes, please. I want to see this.
It's not a custom. It's going to be mass manufactured.
Really? Okay.
By Takara, who are the company that make Transformers in Japan. And the Mega Drive has a cult following around the world.
Yeah.
And they're basically making a toy, a Transformer toy, but it's Megatron, the leader of the Decepticons, of course, who turns into a Mega Drive.
Fantastic. That is very innovative.
Yes. I don't know whether. Guessing it won't be able to play games. If it does, that will be the best thing ever.
It would, wouldn't it?
But even if it just sits there as a as an actual, just a model.
Mega Drive, Megaton.
I just think this is awesome, and this sort of ticks all my boxes. Twitty.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, your retro gaming and your toy.
So yeah, I mean, Takara Transformers sort of the collectible stuff tends to go around about £100 a figure. So it's probably going to be about that price, I expect, when it comes out. Which means I possibly won't end up getting it if it's that price. But
right, I'm just reading the here. Surely, this is obviously a one-off custom creation that son Norb has put together in his basement.
Yeah.
Sorry, I must read it because that's probably not relative to the rest of the article.
But no, it's an official collaboration between Sega and Takara. So that's going to be out. I imagine later in the year. They usually sort of sneak shots about 6 to 9 months before the figures come out. So I shall update you, I'm sure, in future podcasts.
Fantastic.
A Sega Mega Drive Megatron.
Yeah, what needs to happen is the hands need to come away, and they be the the controllers, perhaps, in some weird way. But anyway, yeah, very good. How much? Yeah, it doesn't look like it could work, does it, surely?
Well, if you think about it,
It says it works perfectly as a Mega Drive.
I think the idea works perfectly.
Oh, I see. Wow.
If you think about the small mini Mega Drive that you plug straight into the telly, that you don't actually put carts in, just games stored inside, that's tiny. You could fit that inside a toy like that.
Yeah.
So it could have inbuilt games.
True. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be able to play cartridges. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. But if it can play games stored inside, I think that'd just be the best thing ever, and I would have to get it.
You will, because it looks like it's massive in one of the pictures, but it's actually quite dinky, isn't it? So it's when it folds down to the actual, because there's the Mega Drive size.
Yeah.
That little grey box next to the giant. It's probably the size of 2 cartridges, perhaps. Stuck together, yeah.
We'll have to see.
Fantastic. No, that'd be great.
But yeah, let's pretty much wrap me up for retro news this week. And so there's a few other stories, but I will leave them to next week because time's getting on a bit now, isn't it? And
it is. Yeah,
probably hit the 2 hour.
Nearly. Yeah.
Nearly.
Yeah, we don't want to bore everyone too much, do we?
No, we don't. We should save some news till next time. So before we go, if you want to remind everyone of your gamer tag and where they can find you, should they?
Yeah. So I'm Rikki32, RIKKI 32, and that'll be on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Steam, Twitter, and the YouTube channel, the Control Zone Podcast. Anybody who pops on there, please subscribe. If you subscribe, I'll put more videos up.
Yeah.
And they're all saying, well, if you put more videos up, we'll subscribe. So it's chicken and egg, and we'll probably die a horrible death. But yeah, I'm planning to do my next plan was to do some Hotline Miami and some Surgeon Simulator. Now, unfortunately, that Surgeon Simulator has got a bit too much of a close connection to my last hours with my father, so I'm probably not going to bother
to do that
one in a while, So I'll give that one a miss. But I might do some violent 80s Hotline Miami. I think I'm ready to show how crap I am at that.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing you fail on that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cool.
Yourself, Rob?
Yeah, well, you can find me on my YouTube channel, which is ProGame79, which is a vintage toy channel that doesn't have anything to do with video games, but if you like vintage tat like me, you may enjoy checking that out. You can also find me on Twitter, Predicant79, and there is a Twitter feed for the podcast, which is it's nearly overtaken my own personal feed in followers, which is quite cool, and that's the Control Zone Pod. Control Zone Pod on Twitter. And of course, we are on the Nerdsphere Network as well, which you can find us at thenerdsphere.blogspot.com.
We are indeed. And of course, you might even hear my dulcet tones on this week's Cranky Gamers as well.
Yeah.
So I expect the two podcasts will go up about the same time.
Yes.
Because we don't actually edit our own podcast, do we, Rob? So
no, we get Steve to do it.
Yeah, and it takes about sort of 24 to 48 hours to stop bottle feeding his new baby and doing a little bit of work for us, whereas the CG UK guys tend to get those up pretty quick. So, so give that a listen if you can, and subscribe to anything that we've mentioned before. That'd be really great. And maybe 1 week, Rob, we can do. How many followers on Twitter did you say we got? About 60?
It's about 60 at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should sort of try and get a bit of community interaction somehow. We'll have a think about it, and maybe we'll release some sort of retro sort of question on Twitter, so we can get some feedback from people.
Yeah, hopefully so.
From something maybe we can discuss towards the end of each week. Give some shout-outs, that sort of thing. So
Absolutely. Cool. Well, that'll wrap it up for episode 5. Thank you, everybody, for listening once again. And we'll be back very soon with the usual mixture of modern and retro gaming. But for now, it's bye-bye from me.
Yep. Cheers, Rob. It's bye-bye for me.
Bye for me as well.
Cheers.
See you next time.
See you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.